right, God bless you too, grade 9 students, my favorite one. Sit down, have a seat. All right, today is another day. It's a day that we have to discuss other issues concerning earth sciences, geography that we know as this. That is what we are supposed to do, a subject that we know. And I'll be inviting us, especially one of us, I always love Che to begin the class. No, Che, you give us maybe the ideas that we discussed last class. What did we talk about?
So we spoke about the continent.
I'm not getting you. I think other students. Is there last? Are you getting her? Okay, you said something. Be louder enough.
So we spoke about the continental drift. We spoke about how the Earth was just one, that is Pangea, before it got divided into different continents, like Gondwana and Mauritius, which gave us our continents of today. And we also spoke about the waters which were one, that is Panthalassa, and that they were divided to give us the oceans we have today.
Please, can you put a hand together for her? I think it's very wonderful. She's given us everything that we discussed last class. She's talked about continental drift. When that's Alfred Wegener. Are you getting that? And those were the theories that we discussed about crustal warping, crustal movement. So all these theories put together, there is a theory that tries to unify all this theory. And I'm sure some of you must have gotten maybe an idea about them. And I would like that my question to be answered by the Group A students. Anybody here who knows about what we have to do today? If after we must have studied all these ideas concerning the crustal warping and all that, you consult between yourselves and then you give me that. Yes?
So the theory that unites all of that is the theory of plate tectonics.
The theory of
Plate tectonics.
plate tectonics. That is a very wonderful theory, and this is what we are going to discuss today. The theory of plate tectonics. Coming back to our lesson, which is that of today, is the theory of plate tectonics. The theory of plate tectonics, known as the unifying theory of crustal warping, takes into consideration what, let me say, unifies the ideas of pre-existing theories before coming out with its own theory. And that theory is out to tell us about the breaking and the movement of plates. Are you getting that? Yes. How have plates break and moved away? What causes these plates to move? Are you getting the point? And what are the resultant landforms that have originated as a result of this crustal movement, or as a result of this breaking and movement of plates? That is the point and the focus of our today's lesson. And I'll begin by telling you something about this theory of crustal, of plate tectonics. First and foremost, what causes these plates to move? The first most important thing is the movement of the earth and its resultant consequence, which is what we know as volcanicity. And I will present to you something very wonderful. And okay, so there is a diagram here to tell us about the particular theory that we are going to talk today. The first most important thing I would like you to focus is on the movement of plates caused by subcrustal current, because we've asked the question that what causes these plates to move? And the first answer says movements of plates caused by subcrustal convection current. If we look at the internal structure of the earth, we know in grade 6 we discussed that, and we saw that we had the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, and then we had the crust on which we live. And we said the crust was made up of the continental crust and the oceanic crust. Not so? Okay, now when we see here at the mantle, what was one of the most important characteristics of the mantle? When you look at it, what did they tell you about the mantle? Is there anybody? I would love that to come from Group B. Is there anybody who knows anything about the mantle? Okay, then we go to Group C. Anybody who knows? Yes?
Okay, first and foremost, the mantle is made up of semi-liquid molten materials, and also there is a great heat and pressure present in the mantle, and that the mantle is first of all denser than the crust, therefore makes the crust just like float on it.
Excellent. This theory has two main ideas. The ideas are we have the geometric, and we have the kinematic ideas. The geometric ideas talk about, like in mathematics, we talk about geometry, okay? And geometry, we're trying to explain the shape and the size of something. In earth sciences, about the crustal movements and about plate tectonics, we talk about the breaking and the movement of plates. With geometry, with geometric ideas, they say the earth is made up of what? Different shapes and sizes. Meaning that what? We have larger plates and we have minor plates. And if you look on this, our beautiful map that we have here, this is the world map. And on this world map, we can find everything. Some of us must have traveled far and near. The major plates are all found here. The minor plates are all found here. And I want some of you from either group A to give me any major plate that you know has originated because of this crustal movement. Yes? Good, the African plate is right here. That is a major plate. And from group C, yes? The Indo-Australian plate right here. You find this area here, the Indo-Australian plate. Now the next idea that explains the theory of plate tectonics is the kinematic idea. The kinetics says that, they say, the earth, or let me say plates are in constant motion. They are not static. Meaning that they are moving from either towards each other, they are moving away from each other, or they are bypassing each other. Are you getting that? Like I said, if you look at the diagram, you see that plates are moving away from each other. Are you seeing that? And this is known as divergence. If you look at here, plates are moving towards each other. This is known as convergence. If you look here, you see that they are bypassing each other, and those are the transformed boundaries. And that explains to us this whole theory of plate tectonics. The various landforms that have originated as a result of these movements, we can see from the diagrams that are toward the right of our board. If you look at it, you're going to see something here. Here, we see the plate boundaries. We see plates moving away. If you look at the arrows here, you discover that these plates are moving away from each other. And also, when they move away from each other, there is magma that comes out. Are you getting it? It means that normally they create a small area for magma to come out. When it comes out, it constructs. I hope you are getting that. And those are the constructive margins. When these margins, the oceanic plate, which we said, I think Che says they were more denser, right? Yes. And the continental plate, you said they were lighter because they were made up of rocks that are rich only in silica and aluminium. Okay. What happens is that the oceanic plate has to descend below the continental plate, not so? And then it creates a zone of destruction. And it puts up a feature known as a trench. This is a trench. And a trench is a V-shaped depression. That's why you see that when it descends, it forms the Benwave zone. And then here, it goes back again. And then it is destroyed here. And it sends back again here. I hope you have seen that very clearly, right? Yes. And then you find this other here where, like we said, the asthenosphere. When it moves away, it equally forms another feature known as a rift valley. When plates move away from each other, it forms a rift valley. So that is some of the major features that are formed as a result of plate movements. Okay, I think having wrapped up with the explanations, I want questions from each person, or from either group A, group B, or group C. If you have any question, I think you can go ahead before we go to a major or any other thing. Yes? Yes, Hassan?
So, is the only feature forming here, is it only a root values that are formed there?
No. When plates go, yes?
Are there, I'm asking, my question is that, are there also mountains formed?
Good. Fold mountains are formed when plates move. And the reason why we can put, when we say there is the movement of the crust, like we look at this diagram, I get it. When plates move towards each other, there is what we call compression. When compression results, there will be folding. I get it. A suture zone is produced. That suture zone results to what? Folding. And fold mountains are formed. And you know most of those fold mountains, like the Alps. Not so what again? You know about the Andes, the Rockies in North America, the Alps, all those are found in the different areas around the world. The Himalayas in Southeast Asia. Those are the different fold mountains that come as a result of what? Movement of plate towards each other. Okay, any other question? This? Good.
I'm having a little question.
Yes?
Concerning concerning about the diagram that are just from placing on the board.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the core is said to be in the solid state. But due to the intense heat and pressure, that is about 5,000 degrees Celsius to 6,000.
Good.
Why is it that the core is said to be in a solid state? Why it is only composed of aluminium, and we know that the boiling or the melting point of aluminium is lower than that?
Okay, that's a good point. It talks about the core being in a solid state. And I think here I have to make you understand this. The core, like we see, is made up of two main layers. You have the outer core, okay, and the inner core. The outer core is in a semi-molten state. Are you getting it? Because most of its rocks have been melted. But now, the melting begins from below, which is the inner core. Meaning that the inner core is more solid than the outer core. Are you getting the point now? Yes. That's why this inner core has its own temperature higher because of the melting that has taken place than the inner core, which normally it exerts on it before the melting begins to add on the outer core. Are you getting the point? Yeah. Yes?
So when the plates converge, they actually form a bigger plate or plate destroys?
Good. When plates, the question is very simple and it's a very good one. He says when plates converge, do they form measure plates or they destroy? And looking at the diagram, if you see here, like I said, when they converge, it becomes a zone of destruction. If you look at this diagram very well, look at what happens here. Your question goes to this angle. These are two plates meeting. When the oceanic plate meets with the continental plate, there is subsidence, or what we call subduction. When a continental plate, if there's another continental plate here, meets with another continental plate, because they have the same cealic material and cealic material here, there will be destruction because most of them have the same level of weighing each other. Are you getting it? There will be mountains that will be formed. But if this oceanic goes down because it is denser, and the continental remains because it is lighter. Are you getting it? And then there is subduction. I hope you get the point. Ok. Alors, vous savez, on ne finit jamais les cours sans dire un mot en français, n'est-ce pas? Parce que vous savez, là où nous sommes, souvent les cours sont toujours en français et en anglais. Et nous allons essayer de dire un petit chose en français. Alors, tout ce que nous avons pu essayer, disons, de comprendre, c'est la tectonique des plaques. Et nous avons vu la divergence, nous avons vu la convergence des plaques. Et nous avons vu tout ce qui résulte entre guillemets à cause de ce mouvement qui se trouve auprès de nous, au continent où nous nous trouvons. Je vous encourage, mes chers élèves, à aller chercher des informations concernant le continent où nous nous retrouvons. Ce n'est plus quelque chose que nous pouvons travailler tout en classe. Nous allons essayer de voir comment nous allons parler de l'Amérique du Nord, l'Amérique du Sud, de l'Afrique, de le grand continent qui est l'Europe et l'Asie, et puis l'Australie, et sans mettre en appart où est couverte la glace, n'est-ce pas, qui est l'Antarctique. Donc, c'est une petite leçon d'aujourd'hui. Et je vous en prie, s'il n'y a pas de questions, nous allons mettre enfin notre cours. Et qu'est-ce que nous faisons? On se lève et on applaudit pour nous tous, n'est-ce pas? Ok, tout le monde se lève et on applaudit. Tout le monde, on applaudit. Le cours était bon. The class was wonderful, right? Okay. Like usual, we are going to make the next class more beautiful than this one. And I'm inviting you guys that the next class you're coming, bring either a rock, you could bring a plant, you could bring anything that is beautiful as far as earth science is concerned. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, so I wish you the best for the rest of the day, and may God bless you like you blessed me when I came in, okay? Okay, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.